Benfiquista. É onde o sonho se conquista. O bem e o Benfica, unidos na voz. Aqui somos muitos, mas sentimos como um só. O Cantinho Benfiquista, é onde o sonho se conquista. O bem e o Benfica, unidos na voz. Aqui somos muitos, mas sentimos como um só.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to another episode of Cantinho Benfiquista podcast, number 222. Nice round number. Are we back in the race or are we delusional? A lot of questions, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of opinions in regards to that. As always, I am your host. I am Mike. I am joined by Bill. Oscar is going to be joining us in the comments, at least momentarily, if he's able to step away. Kenny and Jason are unavailable tonight, so you're stuck with the two of us. Bill, how are you?
Not too bad. Things kind of broke our way a little bit, so we'll see if we can take advantage.
As we have a couple of friends who say 2 points is 2 points, 1 point is 1 point, right? Every point matters, right?
Yep.
So we got to take advantage of it. For those of you who are tuning in on the various platforms, feel free to join the conversation. Leave us your comments, your thoughts, your feedback, your opinions, your conspiracy theories, whatever you think. Whatever's on your mind, let us know. We'll talk about it. Don't forget to follow, like, share, subscribe across all the various platforms. We would appreciate it very much. It doesn't cost you any money and it helps us reach more people. What else? Para a malta que esteja a ver em português, esteja à vontade de participar aqui nesta nossa conversa. Ambos falamos e percebemos português, por isso podemos abordar as vossas questões, os vossos comentários. Deixem os vossos comentários na caixa de comentários e nós iremos abordar esses mesmo. E não se esqueçam de deixar um like e partilhar e subscrever aos nossos canais nas várias redes sociais. Agradecemos, não vos custa nada e agradecemos imenso. We got a lot to talk about. This is the first live one we've done, English podcast, since the new year. Kenny and I recorded one a couple of weeks ago. I was in Portugal for the chaotic moment of São Trubin. I was fortunate enough to be there. So we'll talk about that a little bit further down the line. But of course, Benfica beats Alverca. We've got a wonder kid on our hands, or do we have just a moment of inspiration? His name is Anísio Cabral. We got a squad that's nearing full fitness. We'll talk about that, and we'll obviously look ahead. We've got a difficult match away against Santa Clara on Friday, and a field that's generally difficult to play on with all the rain and all the just the climate situation in Portugal as a whole. That field, I imagine, is going to be even worse than it generally is. So that's not going to be easy. And then, of course, we've got Real Madrid waiting in the wings to either get slapped around again or to seek revenge. Time will tell, but we'll get into that. Let's start with the Alverca game, obviously. Quickly, again, Fasha on YouTube. I like your picture. Says hi. Miguel Jimenez says bye. I don't know if that's bye or hi, but welcome in. Bill, we've got 2-1 against Alverca in a game that the rain was, I guess, center stage, just like it has been in Portugal for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I know that when I was there for the Real Madrid game, I just got absolutely pissed on. My pants were soaked. I was soaked. The field, fortunately, is in a better condition than most fields across Portugal, so it puts us in a better spot. But nonetheless, heavy field, difficult to play on, so always a little bit tricky. In terms of starting 11, I think for the most part it picked itself. We had Trubin in goal. Lopes Cabral comes in on the right-hand side. Dedic with a little bit of muscle fatigue, and Mourinho saying that he's got a little bit of a problem. He should be back for Real Madrid, but it's one of those situations where, you know, we talked about it. Do you go back to what people have criticized and put Auschwitz there or Tomás Araújo, or do you put Cabral there? And we'll talk about that. Tomás Araújo in the middle with Otamendi, Dal, Auschnis Barreiro in the middle, Prestiani, Rafa Silva, Sheldrup, Pavlidis. Sudakov goes to the bench. Rafa comes in for his first start since his return. Any surprises for you first in this 11?
I mean, the one that stood out initially was Lopes Cabral playing right back, given that when he came in, Mourinho said he doesn't see him as a back, right? He saw him more as a winger and attacking player. I was surprised just because what's the kid's name?
Kevin Pinto?
No, the kid from that's been playing.
Oh, Benjaki. He was also rested because of fatigue.
Well, I had saw that he was sick. It was like a last minute.
That was the rumor, but then Benfica came out. Or Mourinho said it after that he wasn't sick. He was rested. He didn't play for the Benfica B. That he had been playing straight through since the World Cup, and they wanted to be cautious with him, so they rested him.
Yeah. So that was the only one that kind of stood out, just given that Mourinho had come out and said he didn't count him as a defender. But I mean, given the situation we're in with Dedic and his what seems like lingering injury that he's playing through, and then wanting to not burn out the kid. I mean, I prefer that playing Lopes out there over going back to the Freddie playing right back or Tomas playing. Like, it's at least it's someone that at some point had to defend and play in somewhat of that position, and is kind of used to it. Given, I mean, when he was at, go ahead,
Stadilla. I was going to say, and given the opponent, right?
And you're at home,
it's also a good opportunity. Although it didn't turn out that way in some cases, but
he got torched for that first half. He was getting
Chiquinho had a field day with him,
dude. Yeah. He was fine going forward. It was
correct.
It was defending.
But then again,
it's
the defensive piece that Mourinho talked about, where he thinks for him to be a right back or a left back with him, there are certain things that he still needs to improve, that he needs to mature on. And I think this weekend was very telling of that. Whereas offensively, he can get forward. Defensively, it's a little bit trickier. And I don't know if Chiquinho had an injury at the half. Or Custodio just wanted to do us a favor. He was that
was surprising.
Torching us.
I was also surprised that Mourinho didn't take him out at half, given that he had a yellow card already and the issues he was having defending. That, like, for me, that's an easy one to kind of look at and go, all right, at half you come out, because.
But then who do you put there?
At that point, you have to then go with either Freddie or you're moving Tomas and you're bringing Tony. And like, you at that point, it's like it's break glass in case of emergency type of situation.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
and I feel like when he took off Lopes Cabral in the 73rd minute, I felt like Auschnis ended up filling in that gap more to the right hand side. So I feel like he ended up doing it anyways. But again, we talked about this before. This is something that Bruno Lage was criticized for. Roger Schmidt was criticized for. Mourinho had been criticized for at the beginning of the season, which was Auschnis playing on the right. We're wasting our player on the right. We're wasting our player on the wing. Tomás Araújo's not a right wing, not a right back. Morato's not a left back, right? So it's like you end up going back to, like, does he bite the bullet and go back to it because Auschnis can fill that gap? Or does he not break what's not broke, or does he not try to fix what's not broken in that midfield with Freddie the last handful of games playing in a central role and being pivotal to the team in terms of organization and just keeping the ball, momentum, pacing it, go forward, come back. So I think he's been important there. In terms of the game itself, what was your takeaway from this game?
I mean, another one of those frustrating Benfica performances where we have like 30 shots on net and we can't find one, right? Like, it felt like we were never going to get that goal, right? It felt like one of those games where we're sitting there knocking, and we're not going to be able to just punch one in. Like, it felt like every little bounce was going their way inside the box. Their goalie came up with a few big saves. Like, it felt like one of those. Yeah, it just felt like one of those games where we could have been there for 140 minutes and it wasn't going to go in. It was frustrating, but I mean, I think Benfica never really took their foot off the gas, right? Like from the start, Benfica, I thought controlled the game. We're up, we're playing well, got the goal, and then again a little defensive breakdown, and they get the equalizer, and then we're again at that point we're just chasing, and it's. But I thought we played well. I didn't think it was one of those games where we've seen it plenty of times where we come out and we're flat, and it's just we can't get anything going, we can't create anything, and it's just one of those frustrating games where it feels like everything's left to right, or back, right? Like we're not penetrating, we're not getting in, making chances inside the box. This game, we were creating a ton, we getting a ton of shots off, we just couldn't find the back of the net, and that like it was frustrating until our Lord and Savior came in and I mean, if headers are his weak point, then I can't wait to see this fucking kid play more.
We'll get into that. But in terms of the game, I thought when we scored the first goal, I thought we got a little bit passive, and then we conceded just a stupid goal from just mental lapses, poor positioning, not recovering our position defensively, and we concede that goal. In the first half, in terms of stats, we had 64% possession versus 36. We had 13 shots, 5 on target. So we were taking shots. Alverca had 2 big chances. I know their goal. I'm trying to think of what the other big situation that they had in the first half, but I can't remember off the top of my head. And then the second half, I thought like you said, I felt like from the start of the second half, we never really took our foot off the gas, but it did feel like one of those games where it was like, you're just going to keep knocking at the door and the fucking ball is not going to go in. And then we had the play with Pavlidis where it took about 4 replays for me to realize that it actually hit his fist instead of his chest.
Still haven't seen it.
Yeah, there's one clear one.
Every replay I've seen all over Twitter, I can't tell if it hits his hand or if it's like it hits his hand and stomach at the same time. I can't tell.
No, it looks like it only hits his fist and then it redirects in. But it's tough to see. Like if the angle's not right, it literally looks like it hits his chest.
Yeah.
It took me about 4 or 5 replays to figure it out. But like you said, I mean, Anísio Cabral comes in. I think it was 21 seconds from the time he came in to the time that he put the head on the ball and put it in the back of the net. Another moment of brilliance for him, and we'll talk about kind of managing the expectations and what comes of that. But an important win, right? In the press conference leading up to the match, Mourinho had said, it's the games against the Real Madrids that I don't have to motivate these guys, right? I don't have to motivate them to run. I don't have to motivate them to do anything. It's these games that I have to motivate that. It's almost like I have to run for them, right? And we've seen this specifically on Benfica for many years, right? Where you end up playing down to your opponent, right? And I think most big teams do it on occasion, right? Some do it more often than others, but you end up, you're playing at home against an Alverca team that just got promoted up to the first league. They're having a good season, right? Given the fact that they just got promoted. They're not really in a relegation battle, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, I think they're pretty far up the table, or at least fairly safe. Yeah, they're 10th with 24 points. They're 7 points clear of the playoff spot. So, they're not in a panic mode. You're playing at home, right? And again, the expectation is, the goal is going to come, right? When the goal comes, right? And we got the goal, and then we get complacent, right? And then they score one, and it's like, all right, well, the goal is going to come, right? And then all of a sudden you start panicking. It's like, shit, the goal's not coming. The goal's not coming. And now what, right? And then you start, thinking with your heart more than your head, and things don't always come out right. Decision making is not always ideal, but again, we got across the line, which was the most important. Sometimes, or I guess all the time, what's most important is the 3 points, not really how you get it. Obviously, we'd always like to play beautiful football and smash all the time. But at the end of the day, as long as you get the 3 points, right? I mean, our neighbors across the Segunda Circular have 6 games in a row scoring in stoppage time, 5 of which were game winners, 1 yesterday being a game tying goal. So, and right, I'm sure none of their fans are sitting here going, well, what the hell? Like, we scored late. No, they're we won, right? Are we tied? In terms of individual performances, right? We already touched on Sidney Cabral in terms of his struggles playing back there. What were your thoughts on Rafa's first start since his return? He's had a couple minutes here and there. Anything that stood out to you from his performance, or was it very much same old Rafa, or do you think there's still a little bit of rust on the wheels?
No, there's definitely rust, right? Like he, from what I can remember and recall, in Turkey, he was essentially like training by himself for like a month
month and a
before.
half. Yeah.
Yeah, so like clearly, like he's not game fit 90 minutes. Like, and the performance, you saw it in burst. Like he's still, I don't think he has the same pace that he had a year, 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, whenever it was when he left. Like he at least didn't look it. But you see the talent still there. Like he hasn't lost that. And you saw it in burst. Yeah, and I agree with Oscar that Crivello on the goal was I mean, can't do much else there. And I mean, use your left foot, because he had one where I think it was Andreas cut back. He should have fucking used his left foot, and he tried Crivello.
Yeah.
Dude, so bad. But yeah, I think it's going to take him a little bit to get match fit, right? And get that sharpness back. But I think he can be a player, especially in to end the season, that's going to hopefully perform and kind of contribute to the team, because he still has it. He still has the skills still there. And my biggest concern, and I've sent you a few screenshots, is like his attitude. Like he just, I don't, there's stuff like the Real Madrid game. You saw the behind the scenes locker room stuff. Everyone was there. None of the pictures, none of the videos, no Rafa.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
There's the game this weekend where the fans went over to, I don't know if it was the No Name Boys or to the Diablos Formigos.
Yeah,
they went over, and there's a picture of Anísio Cabral clapping everyone up, and Rafa's in the background, like moping, towel over his head, like
with a hoodie,
like
and
the guy's
a towel
fucking miserable, dude. Like, dude, you just pulled a game out of your ass. Like, we just pulled this off in like the 90th minute, and you look like you're fucking moping.
But yeah, I mean, his personality's always been a talking point. And at the end of the day, he could be the most miserable human being.
It's how you perform
out of the pitch, right? Yeah. Exactly. Like, as long as he's putting in performances and contributing to the team, I could care less how miserable he is outside the field. Yep. I could care less how much he hates the cameras following him. None of that really interests me, as long as he's performing. Now, if it becomes an issue on the field and he carries that into the performances, which I feel like in years past he has, right? We've all talked about the lulls that he goes through, right? Like, when he's on a high, he is on a high, right? Like, everything he touches, I feel, goes in. Then when he's on a low, he's really on a low. Like, he goes through moments where he kind of falls out. And I think part of that is, again, this is me speaking from the outside. I'm not a psychologist or a therapist or anything close to that. But it's almost like he carries that personality with him onto the field in those lows, right? And it's like, can't get out of it, which is frustrating at times. But again, I said it previously, and I think, I can't remember if it was with Kenny or not, but in this moment, I know that there was rumors about going to get André Luiz from Rio Ave. In this moment, given the numbers that they were talking about for André Luiz, I would prefer, as much as I was not a fan of him coming back, if I had the option, I would prefer Rafa, because you know what you're going to get from him. He knows the team. He knows the league. He's played at this level. He knows how much that shirt weighs. He knows the expectations. The André Luiz guy, right, it's going to come with a hefty price tag in the Portuguese league, which is clearly inflated. And we don't know what to expect. We know what to expect from him at a Rio Ave, where there's not much pressure, right? What are you going to expect from a player like that when he comes to Benfica, where the weight of the shirt's significantly more, higher expectations, higher demand, right? And you can't be mediocre, like, because the fans are going to absolutely crucify you. On top of the fact that if you come for that price tag, it's the pressure's on you, right? Just like we've seen with the Sudakovs, we've seen with the Kokshoes, we've seen with Aktürkoğlu's, right? Like, the expectations are high. The Rios, right? Like, we see that not only because it's Benfica, but because of the price tag. Oscar touches on a question here that I was going to bring up next. With Rafa starting central, Sudakov took a seat. I actually thought Sudakov came in well when he did come in at the weekend. I thought he brings a different element to the game than Rafa does, right? Rafa is a speed demon. He's very much a 1-2 and go. Sudakov, when he came in, he gave you that take a touch, rotate, pick your head up, play it wide. If I'm not mistaken, he's the one that plays the ball out wide to Dahl, who plays the cross in. He had a couple moments where dropped his shoulder, turned, left the defender behind, came out playing. So different type of play. I thought he looked good, but then it raises the question, and I'll ask you this. Obviously, Sudakov's got to sit if Rafa's going to start, unless he plays Rafa on the wing. Rafa playing central becomes a problem, right? Because who do you want there?
Yeah. So I think it all depends, right? And like we have a ton of games coming, right? With Champions League. It's again, we're gonna get into with at least 2 more games every 3 days or whatever playing. I think it all depends, right? Like it's very 2 different profile players. Like you said, Rafa is very much a north to south, get the ball, go play, like run into space from in behind type of player. And Sudakov is your traditional 10, 8, whatever you want to call him, but traditional stay in the middle, get the ball, possession type player.
And
he's the one that is going to, and he's the one that's going to be looking for those passes in behind, playing the through balls in. I don't know if I can see them playing together. Like, I mean, you could theoretically, you could. Well, no, I mean, you could play
Sudakov as an 8,
as like an 8,
right? And you could take out
Freddie and Sudakov.
Most likely Barreiro. Yeah, right. That comes out.
Yeah, so you could play them both centrally, but I think we'll either see Freddie or Rafa centrally, and potentially again one or the other playing out. We saw the Sudakov play out wide when Mourinho first started, but clearly he is far and away better when he's central, and we've seen it these last 4, 5, 6 games since he's been pushed central. He's looked like a completely different player. So I don't necessarily think, I don't see Rafa being like Freddie. You put him in starting 11 every day, he's untouchable. Like I don't see that with Rafa, and I don't see that with Sudakov. Right? I think depending on the games, I think depending on the opponent, the game, you'll see one or the other. Some games you may see like the games at home, right, against lower opponents, right? You could, because you're going to have the ball 90% of the time, you could see Freddie Sudakov playing centrally or with Rafa in front of him, and that's very attacking, but we could see it. So I don't think it's who comes out for Rafa to go in to start. I think it's just depending on the situation and the game, you'll see one or the other, potentially both, but one gets pushed wide. I don't see Rafa getting pushed wide. If it happens, I see Sudakov being the one that gets pushed out to the left. But as is, I keep Andreas out there because the kid has been playing well, and we saw it last year in glimpses. When he plays well, you ride the hot hand, and he's been playing really well the last 3-4 games. So I think it's one of those things where you see Andreas and Cristiani playing out wide, and that's what I'm hoping now that we're getting guys back and fit again, that we don't shake everything up again.
Yeah, hopefully not. I mean, touching on the Sudakov Rafa thing, I think I agree. I don't think neither of them are in a form right now where you can't drop them. Like you said, I think both of them give you different types of things depending on where you put them. I don't like Sudakov out wide, if I'm being honest. I think we lose a lot with him out wide. To touch on what Oscar mentioned of can we push him back, and what you had mentioned, he also played a center mid role when he was at Shakhtar quite a lot. So it's not like it's a different role for him. He's played it a couple of times when we played away to Nacional, if I'm not mistaken. He played in a central role, and I thought was probably one of his better games since he's been at Benfica. So he has that in him. He has the ability to get back at the edge of our box and defend and help the team get forward, which
I mean, even this
isn't. Go ahead.
Even this weekend, at one point, it was
Correct.
Enzo and Sulikov as our two
Correct.
central
And
guys.
Freddie was out wide, yeah.
And Freddie was playing more as the right back. So like
Yeah.
we could,
Correct.
like we saw it
And
a
I
little
think-
bit. Like it can work.
And it depends on the opposition and what you're looking to get out of it. So I think
Yep.
it's a good headache, I would say, for Mourinho to have. Two different profile players, depending on what you're up against, right? Against Santa Clara this weekend, for example, I don't know if it makes sense to have Rafa in that position because they're going to sit back. There's not going to be much space in behind, right? You probably need a player.
Swamp.
Yeah, you probably need a player that's got a little bit better feet, a little bit more technical, is able to hold up play it out wide, get it back, right? And I don't think Rafa makes as much sense, at least from the start, in that type of game. But we'll see what he comes up with. In terms of to finish off this game, who was your man of the match? I think did Sheldrup? Oh, Anísio got it.
Anísio got it because of the goal at the end.
Who do you think?
I mean, it's easy to give it to Anísio, a big goal at the end, but I think when you look at the game as a whole, like he came in at the end, scored the goal. Great.
Yeah, he was on for 20.
Game as a whole, right. Game as a whole, I thought Andreas played really well. I mean, the goal is a bit luck, right? Like a save popped right to him. But I thought as a whole, he down that left side, it was, I mean, it gets frustrating with him sometimes because he tends to want to cut in a lot. But
correct,
especially in the second half, you saw him a lot of the times fake the cut in and like spin down.
And that's where he creates a lot of problems.
He torched a guy with it.
Yes.
And that's when he played it back to Rafa, and Rafa tried the Tribella. But
correct,
it's the constant wanting to do that over and over, the cut in over and over, which gets frustrating.
It's so predictable.
And then every once in a while, he'll throw in fake cut in and take them, and it works. And he just needs to, I think he needs to just learn and understand, like, you need to do that a little bit more often than trying to do the cut in 4, 5, 6 times in a row before throwing the fake in.
Yeah, I agree. And that's the thing that frustrates me with him is his predictability 9 out of 10 times is always the same thing. He drags it, and comes inside. And if you notice, more often than not, I don't have the stats on it, but if I had the time to go back and look at it, I'd be willing to bet that more than 70% of the times he goes to the end line, he creates a dangerous play or an opportunity to score for us.
Yeah,
because
I wouldn't be surprised.
He gets that space, right? And he's got the speed to get there. He might not, be as comfortable on his left foot, but he's got to keep those defenders guessing, right? Because in 10 1v1s, I feel like 8 of the times he gets picked off because he's so predictable of the drag, and then he comes inside, and it's like, just throw some variety in there and make it difficult for them. And then in the second half, even against Tondela, he had a couple of plays where he's able to get away from the defenders and he would go to the line, and then he'd come back in. So if he can, and again, he's young, and this is going to come with experience and playing and getting used to things. And like you said, he's improved performance-wise and maintaining that over the last couple of games. Prestiani, same thing, right? And again, they're young, and that's going to come with time, and you got to make those mistakes so you can learn from them and improve and figure out what works. But I think if he can, I don't think he has that explosiveness, and we've talked about this before. I don't think he has the explosiveness or that first step to get past defenders with something simple like a Rafa.
Yeah,
right. Rafa's got a blistering first step. I don't think he has that, right? But he's got the feet. He's very good with the ball on his feet. So that's where he needs to take advantage of. Be more unpredictable where you're going to go, because your speed's not going to allow you to beat most guys, right? So drop that shoulder, come inside, drop that shoulder, go outside, and just keep them guessing. As a defender, if you know 9 out of 10 times he's going to come inside, I'm going to take that guess every time, and I'll take my losses when you go outside once, right? Hopefully nothing comes of it, but I'd rather that than let you inside 9 times and stop you once outside. So I agree. I don't think the defenders really had to do much. So I don't think it would make sense to give a defender the man of the match. Anísio obviously makes sense because he scored, but I would agree. I think Sheldrup makes sense. Prestiani had a good game as well. So I think either one of those I think would make sense to get that. Oscar asks, what happens when Rios and Enzo are fully fit? And I'll touch on this first, and then if you want to jump in. But I think, again, it's one of those situations where we've talked about it. Kenny has talked about it before when Antonio Silva got hurt and all that stuff. Right? Like, I don't think you try to fix what's not broken right now, right? Enzo gives us a different type of player, not like Freddie, not like Barreiro, right? Enzo's more of a ball at your feet. He can help us playing out of the back. He's got really good feet. He can pick his head up. He can pick a pass. But he doesn't have the ability to occupy space without ball like Auschwitz has. He doesn't have the ability to press the ball like Barreiro does, right? So, and I think right now, Auschwitz and Barreiro, they complement each other very well because they both have the legs to occupy space. Freddie's got good football IQ where he can help the team play out of the back, but understands the moments of the game. When do I need to speed it up? When do I need to slow it down? Barreiro's a little bit more chaotic with that, right? He's not the guy that you want to be the first one in the line of creation, but he can be. He's typically more the guy of let's go and get forward and help the team get forward and start to press. I would like to see Rios and Auschwitz together because I think those two would complement each other well. With Rios being fit and fully recovered, he gives you a lot of grit, a lot of muscle. He gives you that kind of physicality in the midfield that we lack more often than not. He is able to use his feet well. He's able to get out of tight spaces. He can be that first option as well coming out of the back. He just needs to be more cautious of where to take risks, where not to take risks. So I think we've got quite a few options here. I don't see, it doesn't make sense to me for him to, flip this upside down and push Freddie wide again and reinvent the wheel. I'd be surprised if he did that. I think he's going to maintain what he has and plug these guys in as we need to. Again, based on the situation, is it a home game? Can we give this guy a break? Does this fit well? Does this not fit well? But I do think there's a lot of criticism on Rios still and a lot of uncertainty, and that's fair. I think that Rios, with a proper preseason, the guy's got probably 15 more games or 12 more games than everyone else on this roster on his legs. And I think with a proper preseason, getting used to the European football, I think he could be very beneficial to us next season. And who knows, maybe even this season, having been able to take this break for 2 or 3 weeks, he should be back in another week or so. But that's my take. I don't think he's going to flip it upside down. I don't think he's going to revert back to what we had. I think what's working, what he's doing now is working. And I think he's now just going to plug and play where he thinks it makes sense. And I'm supportive of that, regardless of what price tag player A, B, or C comes with, right? Like, you need to do what's best for the team. And Mo also said recently, at no point did anyone from this Diretor Sportivo to Simão, Mari Branco to Rui Costa, at no point has anyone ever said you need to play A, B, and C because of how much they cost. Now, is that true or not? I don't know. As a manager at this level, you obviously know that these assets that aren't playing are losing value. But then again, Ivanovic isn't playing and Anísio's coming in, right? So clearly he doesn't care about the price tag in that situation. But I don't know if there's anything that you would add to that, Bill.
No, I agree. And my hope is, and I said it earlier, I hope he doesn't kind of revert back to hit the lineup that he had before all the injuries, right? I think the way the kids are playing, Prestiani and Andreas are playing out wide, like playing with true wingers has changed. Like, we look like a different team. Look, we can create and threaten opposing defenders, and right. That's a whole other issue. And I agree.
Fix one issue and we got another issue.
Another one pops up. Yeah. I just hope we don't go changing everything now that the team is, I'm saying now, and we've slipped up since, but the team is playing better ball than we were playing when we had, what was it, 5 center midfielders playing at once. Like it looks and is functioning a lot better now than it did then. And for me, in the midfield, because I mean, he mentioned Enzo and Rios. For me, in the midfield, it's Freddie and whoever else. Like, Freddie right now in that midfield to me, is an untouchable. Unless it's just a rest and you can afford to give him a little break here and there and you rest him, that's fine. But if it's an important match, a big match, we like Madrid, Porto, Sport, like it's Freddie and whoever else you want to put in there.
Yeah,
it's fine with me. Freddie is untouchable. And I agree. I think right now, Paredes and Freddie are partnering each other well. But Rios, to me, is the one that could, when fully fit, could be an interesting pairing because he does give you the same stuff Paredes does, but he's a little more technical on the ball. He's better with his feet,
correct.
Better shot, like better going forward. Just might not press as much as Paredes does and run
Correct.
as much. I mean, Paredes' batteries, he's like a Freddie. His batteries don't seem like they fucking die.
And he's not gonna get into goal scoring chances like Paredes does. Paredes gets into the box very well.
Right.
He's that running midfielder that gets into those late runs in the box. And Rios isn't gonna give you that, right? So, but again, it's balancing out like what are you losing versus what are you getting in certain situations. But it would be an interesting pairing that I would like to see.
Yeah, and. So to me, that's everyone will have their moments, right? Like I think there will be times where we see Enzo and Freddie playing together, right? And I think there's gonna be times where we see Freddie and Rios and Fred. But to me, it's keep these guys in the midfield, right? Don't go back and putting Freddie out wide. And I don't want to go back to that. These kids are playing well. Oscar even touched on it. Prestiani, like Prestiani and Andreas are playing well right now, and we have Brumo's getting back into match fitness. We have Luca Bacchio is coming back. Like it's these wingers are coming back, and these were the complaints a few months ago. We didn't have the wingers, right? He didn't trust the kids, and he was forcing things.
Yeah.
We have the wingers now. These kids are playing well. We have Luca Bacchio coming back and Bruma coming back. Let's keep it simple, play guys in their position, and just keep the game plan as is right now.
Don't reinvent the wheel.
No.
Oscar says Prestiani actually looks faster. Is it just me? I mean, he's got a low center of gravity, but again, like he's playing with confidence also, right? Like that also plays a huge part in it.
I don't know if he's fast or if he's quick. Like to me, there's two differences. Like he's like his first like few steps with the ball, very quick. And I just don't know if he's like just 60
I wouldn't
yards.
Say he's like
fast.
He's not going to win a 30-yard sprint. I wouldn't think, but his first 10 yards are fast.
Yeah. I think he's quick.
Yeah.
Before we leave this game, I do want to make sure we touch on the 3 PK. I know you say 2.
Oh yeah, we'll talk on it.
I'm convinced. I don't want to make sure. I'm going to make sure we don't miss that.
Gary says, I hope Mourinho stays on for a while. He's got a 2-year contract. There was rumors that came out today about there's a potential national team opening for him after the World Cup, and Ruben Amorim is going to come to Benfica. I personally think that's just all a bunch of noise, if I'm being honest. Ruben Amorim is going to want to play with a 3-back, and I mean, is Benfica going? Obviously, if Mourinho takes that job and if it's there, then we have to go back to the drawing board. But like, take the romanticism out of the fact that Ruben is Benfiquista. Like, do we really want to flip this roster on its head again to go to a 3-back system? Right? Like,
it's a lot of changes.
I get it worked at Sporting. It didn't work at Man United. Right? Not all teams are built to play in a back 3. Not many. I mean, how many teams growing up, even today, how many top teams play with a back 3? I mean, Leverkusen did with Xabi Alonso. What happened when he went to Real Madrid? Right? Ruben Amorim did it with Sporting. What happened when he went to Man United? Right? So it's like it's tough to do it at a top team.
Conte did it at Chelsea.
He won it with Chelsea, but then what happened the season after? Didn't he get fired?
He got sacked. Right? I mean, it's Chelsea, so
correct, but still, it's just one of those things that it's not easy to do at a top team. Not many teams, right? You can count. You can go look at the top 25 teams in Europe, right, and then tell me how many of them play in that formation. Not to say that it can't be done, but to get back to the question, I wasn't a fan of Mourinho coming, but like I said with Roger Schmidt, as much as I didn't like Bruno Lage, I said it when they sacked him, I would have kept him because I think this club needs continuity. We need to stop, rip the Band-Aid off, you go find someone else. Doesn't go well, people are unhappy, rip the Band-Aid off, like, we can't keep doing this. So I know Mourinho's got 2-year contract. He has an opt-out at the end of the season. Benfica also has an opt-out if they choose. If he wants to stay, which I think it's more than clear that he is a Benfica fan, and he seems like he has something to prove. I would like for him to stay and give him the opportunity to have a full season, to have this team have a preseason. But time will tell. I think that Portugal job is a dark cloud that's kind of hanging over everyone's head right now. But curious to see what comes of it. I don't know if there's anything that you would add to that, Bill.
No, I agree. I mean, I think me and you might have been the only supporters of keeping Roger at the time, and
but we were. But you then jumped off the wagon. I still stood on it.
Yeah, you stood. I got toward the end. I was like, "Fuck this, let's just go." But I agree. It has to get to a point. Like it can't be rinse and repeat. Like we just, because then it's you bring in, hypothetically, you bring in Ruben, you bring in any manager, right? Then they're gonna want to put their touch on the team, and then it's
just more so a manager that plays that formation.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to Ruben, that's a huge overhaul, because you're looking at wing backs, you're looking at center backs who can play 3 backs. Yeah. Like it's very different, very different.
Yeah.
I was on the same boat as you with Mo. I wasn't a huge Mourinho fan. I wasn't overly thrilled with the hire. My one hope with Mourinho was, and I said at the time, was he come in and bring some of that grit and desire and the fight and the raça and the garra that we don't normally have at Benfica. And it took a bit. We saw it in the Madrid game. We've seen it in glimpses. I'm just hoping, I'm hoping that he can get the team playing that way more often in these bigger games where we may not have possession the entire time and we're chasing a bit, and we just have that fight and the desire to, like at the Madrid game, like those guys didn't stop like the full 90. We pressed and fought for everything, and that was the performance I was hoping for from a Benfica led by Mourinho, and the hope is still there that it can be more often than not.
Yeah, and I just had a thought in my head and I forgot what I was going to say. Mourinho, let's see if it comes back to me. No, it's not going to come back to me. All right, we'll have to try again. Maybe it'll come back to me in a little bit. Oscar talked about your comment about Rios having a better shot than Barreiro. He says guy hasn't shown us a shot since he arrived. He hasn't. I think maybe he scored one long distance shot, maybe one, but he's had a couple of strikes where they were very close. I mean, if you watch Rios and his career, I mean, he's got a very good shot from outside the box. He's shown glimpses of that already since he's arrived. He takes free kicks. He's taken free kicks for us as well. Again, it's just those types of things come with confidence.
Putting everything together.
Wanting to take that risk, feeling confident to take that risk, and all of that kind of falls into place. I mean, look at Sudakov. Sudakov at Shakhtar on the Ukraine national team, he was taking shots from outside the box. And right now, I feel like every time he gets close to the box, he always passes it, right? It's almost like he doesn't have that confidence to take that strike. Oscar says Barreiro versus Ajax. Yeah, that was a breakaway, left-footed. You could probably give Barreiro 5 of those again. He probably doesn't hit the net. He probably slices it. And but he scored it, right? That's what counts. But Barreiro's not known for his shooting, right? If you know Rios' career, he's known for having a good shot. Whether he's shown it to us yet or not is indifferent. Penalties quickly to finish off this game. And again, thank you for all the comments that are coming in. Don't forget to follow, like, share, subscribe, like the YouTube video if you're watching on YouTube. We appreciate all of that. First one is Sheldrup coming in from the left, cuts inside. Do you think it's a penalty or not?
Yeah, I'm 100% convinced that's a PK.
Okay.
Guys, he's beat. He's beat. He throws his arms up, like jumps. It's like a football tackle. Jumps into him.
But he doesn't grab him.
He doesn't grab him, but you don't need to
Puts
grab.
his arms
Like, you
there.
don't.
Correct, but he puts his arms there, but like,
and he pushes them. He pushes them. There's 100% a push.
There's 1,000% contact. For me, soccer's a contact sport, and I hate this bullshit of like, oh my god, he touched me, and like, in my opinion, that contact is inevitable because the defender has every right to step into that path to get to the ball. Yes, he puts his arms up just like every player puts their arms up when they're running. He doesn't actually grab him. In my opinion, he doesn't grab his shirt. He doesn't pull him back. His arms are there. They're both stepping into that path. In my opinion, that contact is expected because of how he changes direction. In my opinion, I agree with not calling it a penalty. To the contrary, I'll skip the second one for now and go to the third one with Rafa, which is the same, except he changes direction and this guy grabs him
around the neck
and pulls him back.
Yeah.
And that one for me is a penalty because that one he literally, you could see him grab him and pull him back. I don't know how the hell that one doesn't get called. So we're in agreement. We're not in agreement.
Doesn't get
on the
called.
First one.
Agreement. Did VAR even look at it? I don't even remember now. Did VAR even look?
Who knows? I don't even.
I don't remember.
But regardless, so we both agree on the third one. Don't agree on the first one. The second one for me, as soon as it happened live on the Barreto one, that's a foul regardless of where the hell, whether it's on outside the box. The fact that he doesn't call it is astonishing to me. And then when you watch the VAR, I think they didn't call it because they say it's outside the box. If you watch the replay and you stop it, he's on the line. Which is a penalty. On the line, if it's on the line, it's in the box.
Yep.
So 2 penalties, in my opinion, of those 3 are clear penalties. The first one can be debatable, in my opinion. I wouldn't call it. But 2 of them, for me, are just incredible how those 2 don't get called.
Yep.
But fortunately, we didn't need it, which would have sucked.
I mean,
well, almost did need
it. At the time, we fucking needed them.
We needed it, yeah. But at the end of the day, we didn't need it, thankfully. But that would have sucked if we dropped points in that game, and then you look back on those plays and you're like, meanwhile, you see all these other penalties that are given. Fucking someone puts their finger on their lip and is like, 12-minute review penalty. I'm like, get the fuck out of here, dude. You kidding me? All right, so we got that out of the way. Anísio, this guy, he's going to be 18 years old this Sunday. Still very young. Coincidentally, he's got this season, he's got 0 minutes on the B team. He's played in the youth league. He's got 131 minutes in the youth league, and the expectation is that he will play more in the youth league as we're through to the next round. He's played in the Liga Revelação 3 times. He's got 192 minutes in that. He's got 1 assist. For the A team, he's got 3 appearances, 2 goals in 20 minutes, which is incredible. What I want to get to here is you see all this hype around him, and I don't know if it's like this with other fan bases, but being a Benfica fan, I think we're closely tied to the history of these situations where it's like fans go into this like hysteria of he's homegrown, he's one of us, like he's the next fucking best thing. I see people saying like, and obviously jokingly, right? Like references to Eusebio, references to Mentores, he's our Mentores, blah, 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 right? And it's just like, I get it, right? Like naturally as a fan, you're inclined to make those jokes, whether they're legitimate or not. Mourinho made a comment after the match that he said, you know, with his back to goal, he reminds him a lot of Drogba, very physical, and his aerial game isn't his strong point, despite him having scored both goals with his head. And it's one of those things where like, you don't know if Mo is just being Mo and being ironic and sarcastic, or if he's being legitimate. But my question to you here, and those of you who are listening after the fact or watching live, is how does Benfica, or how does Mourinho and even just the fans manage the expectation here to not allow this to be a situation where there's so much hype, right? And I know we go back to the situation constantly. You know, Ferro's the one that comes to mind. But we have others, the Nelson Oliveiras, the Ivan Cavaleiros, the Thiago Dentes, the Miguel Rosas. We've had so many that have come through, and it's like, holy shit, we saw 10 minutes, and oh my god, this is the next best thing, right? And then it's all of a sudden like, they come back down to reality, right? Whether they're not as good as they seem to be, whether they can't live up to the hype, whether it's just too much, whatever the case may be, right? Like, we've never been in that situation, unfortunately, so we don't know what it's like to be in that situation. But how does a fan taper down those expectations, and how do you think the club needs to manage that? Because I already see people saying like, Pavlidis isn't scoring goals, Anísio should be starting, right? Like, does that seem realistic, or is it just me that's like, guys, what the fuck? Like, relax.
I mean, for the fans, it's impossible. It's legit impossible to kind of tell everyone to calm your tits. All right, like,
can't we just be like rational?
No. When it comes, dude, this. When it comes to Seychelles kids,
God,
it is there's a section of Benfica fans. When it comes to the Seychelles kids, it's blinders. Every Seychelles kid's a fucking Galactico. Every Seychelles kid's gonna be a stud. And when none of them pan out, then it's like, well, Benfica, it's the coach's fault. It's the manager's fault. It's the team fault because they didn't plan it properly. They didn't give them the chances. Like, for every João Felix we have, or every, like, there's gonna be 30 or 40 kids that burst on a little bit and then fizzle out. I mean, one comes to mind right away. Do you remember the kid for Man U? I think it was like Manqueda or something like that. The Italian.
Oh, Makeda, Federico Makeda.
Dude, he came in, scored like 2 golasso, like with Fergie. Never fucking heard from the kid again. Like, stuff like that comes to mind so much. Like, and it was the same thing. He came in, that kid scored 2 bangers early on, and then it was everyone up in arms that this is the next kid, the next big thing, and then nothing. Like, it happens. These kids come in and right moment, right, a little bit of luck, like, and they score these 2 goals, and he looks like a stud, but the kid hasn't put, like, outside of these 2 goals, the kid has what, like 5-6 touches.
I mean, he could have had 3. The one in Tondela, he got, if that ball goes anywhere else. But again, I agree with you. He's played 20 minutes.
Yes, it's like, okay, yes, he's got 2 goals. Both of them first touch in the game within like minutes of being on the field. Like, it's yes, it's a great story. It's great. It's awesome. Seychelles kid, what a year for him. Like, going from the U16 17 team to winning the World Cup to the U23 team to A team. Like, it's just, yes, that's insane. Like, and then they do 2 goals on top of it. Like, crazy year for the kid. But like, we have to calm down and let these kids develop. Like, the calls for him to be starting over Pavlidis. Yes, Pavlidis is struggling. Yes, it's frustrating. Yes, I think he probably does need a bit of time on the bench. Maybe not starting, maybe not coming off the bench. Like, that can be debated. But to be saying that this kid should be starting is insane. Like, the kid hasn't shown anything else except for those 2 goals. Great goals, phenomenal. And if Mourinho's saying that's his weak point, like, that's crazy, because both headers are very well taken, not easy headers, and he puts them in the perfect spot. Do I think he could play more, deserves a little more? Yeah, I mean, when it comes to strikers, and we've said it with Pavlidis, we said it with Darwin, we've said it with every single striker we've signed, they live and die by the goal. If they can put the ball in the back of the net, you can deal with everything else. Right? Darwin couldn't fucking dribble the ball to save his life, but somehow could fucking manage to put 30 balls in the back of the net in a season. You fucking deal with it.
15 assists.
Yeah, like, you deal with it. Same with this kid. Like, if that's what he does, and he's a poacher and he sits in the box, and great, feed him, play him, give him his minutes, and if he keeps producing, then you can talk about fucking him starting. But right now, 20 minutes on the field, like, he hasn't done enough to deserve the start, right? And B, to give him a start, and if he doesn't perform and he plays like bad, misses a few, like, then it's like the frustration with the fans come back in. I mean, we've seen it, fans turn on players real quick. we need to take a step back, understand that this kid is 17, turns 18 this weekend. Like, yes, he has a bright future ahead of him, but there have been thousands of kids that have come onto the scene just like he has, and we've never heard from him again.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think there's an opportunity here for, right, like Benfica's got Santa Clara away, which is going to be a tricky game, right? But then we've got Real Madrid at home. We've got AVS at home in between that and the second leg in Madrid. Like a home game against AVS could be a potential scenario to maybe give Pavlidis a little bit of a breather, even if it's 45 minutes, where, he only plays 45 minutes and Anísio starts and then he comes out if needed. So I agree. I think we need to taper the expectations. I think we need to celebrate as much as we want, right? Like, he's a young kid, he's 17 years old, and the 2 goals that he scored, one of them is against Still. The game's already put away, but nonetheless, it's a great goal. It's a great story. This one, a match-winning goal within 21 seconds of being on the field. I just think that sometimes we create this expectation in ourselves that I feel sometimes carries over. Fortunately, I think Mourinho's been around the block enough that he won't feed into the pressures that come from the outside, right? Whereas I felt Bruno Lage was a little bit more likely to give into those things just because of the type of manager that he is. He's a Benfica fan, right? And he's more of one of those exuberant, passionate Benfica fans, right? Where Mo, I feel like, is, while I think he clearly has said it in between lines that he is a Benfica fan, I feel like, given his experience, he's able to be a little bit more rational with his decision making and the pressures and the media and what's going on. So I just hope that we're able to give this kid the adapting and the time that he needs to be able to grow, to be able to learn, to be able to make mistakes, to be able to miss goals, to be able to score goals, and to be able to take all of that and learn from it without the pressure and the expectation of, like, all right, I started, I need to fucking deliver now. I don't have any margin to fuck up. I don't have any margin to miss because he's going to be 18 years old. Like, he needs that space to be able to do those things, because if the expectations are all the way up here from the get-go, that you're setting him up to fail, right? And I think from what Mo had said about him, he's going to play for the youth league to keep playing. Right, and those games are going to help him, right? Playing with the A team and then going to play with kids your age, right? And like confidence and all that stuff that is going to help him. And he also said that he's got a good head on his shoulders. It seems like he's got a good foundation from his family. You just got to hope that the guys or girls, whatever it may be, in terms of agents and all that stuff that is around these young players, is the right personalities, because we've seen it time and time again where, an agent sees an opportunity to cash in and they absolutely fuck up a young player's career. I mean, Diogo Moreira is a prime example. Umaro Imbalo is another example. And if we sat here and thought about it, we could name, 5, 6, 7 other scenarios like that. So let's give him time. Let's settle down the expectations. I don't think he should be starting. Pavlidis has had his moments, but he's our leading scorer. So let's pump the brakes a little bit and let's see what the future brings for us and Anísio, and hopefully Pavlidis starts finding the back of the net, and what better opportunity on Friday to start doing that. I want to look ahead. I know that we've already touched on some of the players coming back, but I wanted to look ahead since we're about 60 minutes in. We've got Santa Clara at the weekend. We've got Real Madrid 2 legs. My question to you is, are we in the race, or is it just one of those optimistic, unrealistic realities that we want to believe but isn't realistic?
I mean, my heart wants to say we're in the race.
Whenever an answer starts with my heart, it's never going to go well.
Yeah. But like our good friend Kenny has said on many, many occasions, we've seen this before and we've been burnt before by this team. And unfortunately, until they can prove that they can fight for it and are actually in the race, it's hard to say it, right? Like, yes, it's the result this weekend helped, right? It keeps everything open, and we're not far. I think we're 6 points from
7
Porto,
from
right?
Porto and 3 from Sparta.
7. Yeah. So like we're not far off, and we play them both, right? We play Porto and Sporting,
And there's still 13 games to go.
yeah, like, and each team has hard matches, not just playing each other. Like
Correct.
Porto has Guimarães and Braga, and like, but we do too. And like there's hard games where you like points could be dropped. So like, yes, there is a hope that there's a race here to be had, and we're still fighting for it. But like I've said, we've seen Porto and Sporting drop points, and we come out and we slip and we fuck up, and we've dropped what, like 8 or 9 points at home, right? With like last minute
At
draws,
home, we
and
dropped 6.
yeah,
Santa Clara,
so like
Rio Ave,
it's
and Casapia.
yeah. So I mean, it's those 6 points right there. We're 1 point off of the lead, right? Like it's games like that where the Campeonato is lost, and unfortunately for us, we're unbeaten, but we've dropped a lot of points at home against lesser opponents, and we haven't beaten the Porto or Sporting in the league, right? Like we haven't. We've tied them, and unfortunately, when we play them the second time around, a draw isn't good enough. Like, do we have that next gear where we can play them and come out with a result? And I mean, it's going to come down to those games, but unfortunately, we've seen it before, and we've been fucked before. So
Listen,
I won't believe it until it's there.
Listen, you say that this team's burnt us, blah blah blah. This team has burnt us since we were kids, and guess what?
Fuck.
Every year the season
year
starts,
back.
and we're fucking back. We're back, baby. So, if we live through the years of the late 90s, and we're still here holding on, there's nothing that's going to stop me from believing. Now, with that said, had Porto won this weekend, I would agree. I would have conceded and said, listen, we've got to focus on second place because that's really our main objective. Now, obviously, for us to get to first place, we got to get to second place. Gary says Samu's out for the year, and I'm going to touch on that. So thank you for mentioning that, Gary.
That's big.
Don't count them out. What I'm going to say here is 7 points is a lot, right? There's 13 games left. We still got to play Porto at home. Yes, we've got difficult games as well. We've got Santa Clara this weekend. We've got 2 games with Real Madrid. We've got Gil Vicente away, who's having a good season. Aroca's way is not going to be easy. We've got Casapia away. We've got Sporting away. We got Famalicão away. We got Braga at home and Estoril away to finish the league. That's not all 13 games, but I was just calling out kind of the ones that stand out.
The big ones. Yeah.
Sporting's got Famalicão at home. They've got Moreirense away. They've got Estoril at home, who's having a good season. They got 2 games with Porto for the Taça de Portugal. They then will have 2 games for the Champions League once this playoff round is complete. They've got Braga away. They've got Alverca away. They've got Estrela away, who's down at the bottom of the table. They've got Vitória at home. They've got Rio Ave away. They've got Gil Vicente at home at the end of the season. And Porto's got Nacional this weekend away. They've got Aroca at home in a couple of weeks. They've got those 2 games against Sporting for the Taça de Portugal. They've got to go to Benfica. They've got Braga away, Estoril away. They've got Famalicão at home. They also have Estrela away. So each of these teams are going to run through difficult matches. What I want to get to here is, and I said it in our messages before, is I feel like at this point of the season, Porto and Sporting are getting to a point where Benfica was 2.5 months ago, where there's fatigue, there's injuries. You could tell the team isn't playing the same way. I'll take Porto, for example. Fariol, the first 2 months, they were fucking guns blazing. High press, nonstop, right? And now if you've watched Porto the last month and a half, they don't play that same way. They're not as high pressing. They don't have as much energy. They're blowing up. Samu just got hurt, ACL. Kivior got hurt, hamstring yesterday. You could just tell that these guys are gassing out, right? And it seems like they're slowing down and slower, and it's at that pivotal time where now it's crunch time, right? And we see this a lot, where teams get to this phase and they're like, now we got to grind. We got to really grind, right? So we see that with Porto right now. Sporting, as I mentioned earlier in the podcast, 6 games on the bounce. They
Fucking
have
horseshoe
scored
up
in
their ass.
stoppage time. 5 goals, game winners, 1 game tying goal against Porto this weekend. Eventually, right? We can sit here and talk about Sporting. Yeah, Sporting is the reigning champions. There's no one you can't take that away from them, right? They won last year, they won the year before. This is a new season, right? Have they played good moments of football this season? Absolutely. You can't take that away from them, right? They beat PSG at home. You can call it whatever you want. They've had good games. They went and beat Atletico away in the stoppage time. But when you win 6 games in a row, and this is all up to interpretation and how you want to look at it, you can't tell me that a team is playing very good when they've won 5 of their last 6 in stoppage time. That to me tells me that this team, regardless of how well they could have played in those 90 minutes, they're struggling to win games. They're struggling to get across the line. And we can call it luck. We can call it fortune. Listen, you make your own luck in a lot of situations, right? You got to give them credit because they don't put their head down. They don't give up. They keep working. But eventually, this 6 games in a row of scoring in stoppage time is eventually going to die out, whether it's 1 week, whether it's 2 weeks. I mean, if we went back and looked at history, I would be willing to bet that this is probably one of the longest runs for a team at this level to score 5 game-winning goals in a row.
Didn't they have it though with a few years ago with the hell's the defense Coates?
He
scored
had a few. I
fucking,
remember they
like,
scored one against
a
Gil
ton
Vicente
of
that
them.
first. Correct. But like 5 in a row.
Yeah, no, in
now
a row.
6
Yeah,
with
in a
that
row
draw,
is a
like,
lot. Yeah.
That's a lot, right? So eventually you'd expect that that's going to die out. Now, that also doesn't take away from the fact that Benfica's got to do their part as well, right? Do I think Benfica's going to drop? Do I think Benfica's going to win out throughout the rest of the season? Probably not, right? But what I'm getting at is Benfica needs to be better than they were in the first round, in the first Primeira Volta. Porto's not going to be as near perfect as they were in the second phase as they were in the first phase. That's a reality. So while we are starting to get players back, Luca Bacchio is coming back, Richard Rios is coming back. Ba's probably the only one that's really long-term. Manu came back. He's got to get his legs underneath him. We've got Rafa now, right? So we're starting to get players back. We're starting to get a team that has more options. And now we're seeing our rivals starting to gas out, right? Starting to have injuries. Jenny Catamo today, 2 weeks, injured. Luis Suarez misses next game because he got a yellow card. And then Rui Borges said in his press conference after the match that he's not 100%. He's dealing with something, blah, 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 right? So, like, we're starting to see what we went through at the start of the season with no preseason. Heavy legs, injuries, bad decisions when you have heavy legs. And now we're seeing it with them. Is it possible? I absolutely think it's possible. But we have to do our work. If it was 9 points, it's only 2 more points. I would think even psychologically, it makes it a little bit more difficult and gives them a little bit more margin to make mistakes. But I think that tie yesterday puts us in a position where I think the players can at least start to believe. They play first this weekend. They play on Friday. A win puts a little bit more pressure now. Right now, we're only 3 points back of Sporting. They've got to start, right? Again, these last-minute goals aren't going to continue. That's just the reality of it. History tells us that it's not going to continue. So they've got to start finding ways of grinding these games out in regular time because these last-minute ones are going to start to die out, and you're going to have to find another way. So I still think we're in the race until it's realistically out of it. I'm not going to count us out. I think the game on the 8th of March against Porto could really open this up if it's not already really opened up by then. But I think between now and that Porto game, I think there's points to be dropped. And I think by the time we play Porto, I think the standings could look a little bit different than they do today. But again, that could be me just being optimistic.
Porto doesn't have an easy one this weekend. Going to Nacional.
I think they drop off the back of 2 games not winning.
Off the back of the Sporting game, the emotion of that with these
and
injuries.
The loss.
It's not.
Let's not forget.
Nacional's not an easy place to go play.
No. And let's not forget Farioli has a little bit of a history with it. First round of games flying high, and then if the wings fall off.
Yeah, if they drop points this weekend, definitely gonna have poopies in his pants after that one.
Yeah. It's sitting in the back of his mind, like not again.
PTSD.
Oh yeah. For a fact, there's no fucking 100%. Shot it's not in the back of his mind. Dude, this guy blew a 9-point lead with 5 games left in the
last year, right?
last year. Yeah.
Last
year. 9-point lead with 5 games left. And all he had to do, I think, was tie the last game at home, and they pissed down their leg and lost the league in the last game. So, again, could it happen again? It could. Will it happen again? Time will tell. But there is no doubt in my mind that is 1,000% sitting in the back of his head. Like, dude, this can't happen again. Can it?
Yep.
Can it?
We see Porto going back to their old mind game, whatever you want to call it, tricks and stupid shit.
Like up in the fucking the ball boy situation.
The AC up in the
it was the
locker
heat.
room.
It wasn't the AC. It was the heat. The heat was like blasting. They couldn't turn it down.
All over.
And then the ball boy situation is so ironic and karma of like, let's hide all the balls. And then Bimba penalty in the last fucking minute. Yeah. How did that make you feel? Sucks to suck. All right. So talked about the league, Champions League. We've got to finish this off. We've got Real Madrid coming back to town. First game at home, second game away. We beat them 4-2. They're in all sorts of turmoil off the pitch. Rumors are that the players also aren't convinced with Arbeloa. They think he's an interim manager, blah, blah, blah. Performances, in terms of results, after they lost to us, they beat Rayo Vallecano like last minute penalty, which
they're not playing well.
Controversial. So how do you feel going into this, knowing it's 2 legs and the second leg is away from home? Do you feel as optimistic? Or I was talking to Freitas and he was like, dude, this is the worst thing that could have happened because they're pissed off. All the media attention that this got, they're going to come in, they're going to want to fucking chew our heads off, and they're going to score 2 and 3 and 4, and they're just going to keep piling it on. I'm like, dude, relax. Wake up. You're having a bad dream.
Yeah, legit. Listen, I've said this for years on this pod when we do our Champions League, when it gets to this phase. Madrid is one of those teams, like, I'll take in normal circumstances, I would take anyone over Madrid.
Fair.
Anyone.
No,
this year.
Over anyone.
Right.
You said it backwards.
Oh my bad. Yeah. I would take Madrid over anyone. Like I would not want to face Madrid in the Champions. Like the Champions League is Madrid. Like there's no denying it. Like it is their tournament.
Got, or like
they just have. Yeah, like it's just they know how to play it. This season has been for them. We talk about like shit show at Benfica. It's been like 10 times worse at Madrid, and like we always complain about like the power of players and them killing the manager. And in Madrid, they fucking killed the manager like 100%, and they're not playing well. They haven't been playing well. Yes, they're going to have the added emotion of what happened last game. And yes, I understand that going to Madrid second leg isn't ideal, right? But I said it to my dad after the Madrid game, before the draw. If it's between Inter Milan and Real Madrid, I would prefer Real Madrid 10 times out of 10.
Yeah.
Not even like Inter Milan is going to defend, sit deeper, hit on the counter, and we struggle against that constantly. Right. We struggle against it against teams. We struggle against it in teams in the Portuguese league that don't have the caliber of player that Inter Milan does.
Correct.
Madrid isn't going to do that. Madrid could be playing like shit, but they're going to play wide open. And you can count on Madrid having 4 players not defending.
Yeah.
Mbappe, Vinicius, Rodrigo, Bellingham aren't going to put in the effort defensively.
Fortunately, 2 of those can't play.
Right. But
Rodrigo's
there's,
suspended,
I mean,
Bellingham's out.
but Ahimi comes in.
Correct.
He's
I get
the
it.
same boat, like the style of player, like the players they have.
Correct.
So you're going to have space. We're going to be able to hit on the counter, which we've shown we can do as long as we can put the ball in the back of the fucking net.
That's the thing.
But we're going to be able to create opportunities and have chances against them. And we're going to have a fighting chance. Whereas against Inter, we would struggle, I think, a lot more against an Inter than we would against Madrid.
I agree.
And I think we do have a chance. Going, the first game is huge. Going away, the second leg is a daunting task, especially to the Bernabeu. But this isn't the Madrid of Ancelotti, of Zizou. Like this team
Mourinho
isn't functioning together. Like they're not playing together.
Correct.
It's very divided. I saw reports that Vinny hates playing with Carreras because Carrera likes to get forward and it's taking up space that Vinny would get into, and Vinny can't take into those spaces because Carreras is there. Like shit like that is just crazy. And you have Valverde, who's one of the best center midfielders, playing right back when you have 2 right backs on the bench. Like this team is in turmoil. The manager Arbeloa, I don't think is a manager capable of Madrid, right? I think they were hoping for a Zidane part 2, right? Guy comes up from the youth system and they strike gold and it's hot the Champions League. It's nothing like that. This team is not playing anywhere near Champions League winning caliber, and I don't see them being able to get to that point. Like, yes, they might get past us, but I don't see them getting past City or a Bayern or an Arsenal. Like this Madrid team isn't, I don't think, capable of that. I think Benfica is probably catching them in the year where you would want to catch them, right? Like they're at their low point right now, and they haven't been playing well. And the game against us definitely didn't put a fire in their ass to try to turn it around, because since then they have not been playing well and been scraping through in the league. I mean, I think they had like a 7-point lead in the league to start before the halfway part.
Now they're 1 point back,
and now they're back. Yeah, so they've been blowing the lead. So, I mean, this is one of the few years I will ever say, "Give me Madrid." I like our chances. It's going to be a dogfight, but I think we have a fighting chance in this one, given how Madrid's been playing.
All right, now you got to give me an answer. Do you think we get past them? Don't start with my heart bullshit.
Yes.
Do you think
no. This one, 100% brain. I do think we can. The first game is going to be pivotal. I think we get a good result at home. I think we win at home, and then I think at the Bernabeu is going to be a fucking dogfight. And at the Bernabeu, I can see Mourinho going into his bag of tricks and parking the bus, if you will, but like packing it in tight. Try to hit maybe 1 or 2 on the counter, but like it is sure up the defense. Don't let anything through. Win with a fucking dogfight of a match. But I think, given how they've been playing and how we're looking right now, I think we can get through.
I agree. I think the first game is important to us. I think if we win the game at home, I think we get through. And I think the second game, if we win, I think the second game is going to be very much a chess match, a mind game, a psychological game. And I think if we win the first game, given what I expect from that second game, that's a game for me that Rafa ends up being a huge piece to that second game, because they're going to push forward and he's going to have space, and I could see him taking advantage of that, catching a couple of opportunities and being able to put the ball in the back of the net, because they're going to give us space. But again, I think that first game is going to be super important, because if we go there with the win, psychologically, that's a huge piece for us, regardless of going to the Bernabeu, which is never an easy place to go. But if we don't go there with a win, obviously we're going to still have to kind of sit back and look to hit on the counter. I still think they have mistakes in them, and I still think they have shown that they give up opportunities. Yeah, Rafa can play now because it's second phase, so they've already added him to the list. So while they're going to create 3, 4, 5 chances naturally because of the talent that they have, they've also shown that they can also give up 3, 4, 5, 6 chances, because in that game, Benfica could have been up 3, 4, 5-0 at halftime.
In the first half,
The opportunities that we missed was just astonishing. And then they went there twice. First half, they went there once and scored on a super mistake from Dedic. And, they scored the second goal similar. But I think they've got chances that they give up in them. And I think that we've got quality to create the chances. Question is do we have the quality to be efficient with those chances in those games? Those are the games that you need to fucking kill or be killed. That's just the reality of it. And
dude, go ahead.
No, go.
I was gonna say, what a crazy world where I feel more confident in a 2-leg with Madrid in the Champions League than I do with Benfica in the league.
I was just going to say, you're more confident with 2 legs over Real Madrid versus a away game to Santa Clara.
Dude, 100%. Just like I said, like you don't have to deal with the low sitting block. You don't have to deal with all of, like, they're going to give us space. And we saw it. We've seen it time and time again when Benfica has space to be able to attack and play into, and not the constant, like, just 11 guys behind the ball. Like, we can play. And I think the way Madrid plays suits us and helps us, and given their form, again, helps us at this point. And the Madrid crowd is fucking every game, dude.
Yeah.
We talk about Benfica fans and the Lenços Brancos. Dude, every game they come out, that's whistles true. And Lenços Branco. Like, it's, and if we win the first game, that crowd is going to be fucking volatile for them.
That'll be tricky. They play Sociedad this weekend at home, and then they play us, and then they go to Osasuna, and then they play us at home. So, it'll be interesting. It'll be very competitive, and I think offensive 2 games. But let's see. Time will tell. Hopefully we don't need Trubin to go up there and score another header for us.
We have a set piece specialist to come up.
Yeah, he's our secret weapon if we need him to go up there and score a goal. All right, that covers everything. Last question: what's your prediction for Friday's game?
We're at Santa Clara, right?
Yep. Santa Clara is currently in the playoff spot with 17 points. They're 2 points away from the safety zone. They've got 4 wins, 5 lost, or 4 wins, 5 draws, 12 losses, 16 goals scored, 26 against. So they're not scoring very many goals. They've got less than 1 goal average per game. They've lost 4 of their last 5. They lost Estrela, Estoril, Moreirense, Famalicão. They drew Nacional. They haven't won a game since December 6th, which was at home against Casa Pia. So they are not in a good spot.
I think we win. I just it has one of those games that the weather. I mean, it's the island, so it's never an easy game to go there, right? And the pitch is never in great conditions. Yeah, never. But given the last 2 weeks in Portugal and the amount of rain, this has like a 1-0 or 2-1 written all over it. Like, it's just going to be one of those, just scrape by, get the win, get the fuck out of there.
Grind, grind and survive, baby.
It is, and that's what I mean. Unfortunately, that's what champions are made out of, right? You got to go to those places, and when the conditions are against you, you find a way to fucking win. And I think
Yep.
we'll win. I don't think it's going to be a comfortable game. It's going to be a nail biter. I think we're going to I'll have a few more gray hairs in here. But it's going to be, I think we'll win. But I think it has like a 1-0, 2-1 win. Like it's something like that where we're just grinding it and get away with the win.
Yeah, I agree. I think it'll be a difficult game. Porto 1-0. Yeah, I mean, it's typically a
not
tough
easy.
place to go.
Yeah.
And I mean, historically, Benfica, we won there last year 1-0. We won 3-0, 5-0, and then it was 1-1, 2-1. So apart from 2023 and 2021, those were like the anomalies in the last 5 years. Typically, it's even if you look back in the last 8 games, I mean, some of them were in 2009, 2002, because they weren't in the Champions League, or they weren't in the First League. Typically they're fairly tough games. So I agree with you. I expect another stoppage time goal, Oscar. You said Sporting won there.
What a
2-1 with the
surprising.
stoppage. Surprising. I would have never thought. So that's one of those games where I agree with you. I think it's gonna be tough. The field conditions always make it difficult. I just hope that 1, we get the win. 2, we don't have any injuries because we've got Real Madrid coming up. Ideally, would be nice if we could get 2-goal lead and we're comfortable in the game and we can rotate some guys and give it a little bit of extra rest and not have to play on such a heavy pitch for 90 minutes and overexert themselves. But this is one of those games where it's in one of those banana peel spots where it's like you're looking ahead to Real Madrid. You don't want to get hurt because that's a big game, right? Are you more inclined to not put your foot in? Are you more inclined to not do this or do that? I just hope that we can, as hard as it is, let's get this win. Let's get this result. Let's put the game away as early as we can, because the more you play on that field, the worse it's going to get. Let's leave it out of question, and let's not leave it till the last 50 minutes where we're going to fucking, like Tundela, and we're trying to dump balls into the box on a shitty pitch and we're trying to find a goal. So I think it'll be tough, but I mean, there's no reason why we shouldn't win again. But then again, we should have beat Tundela and we didn't put the ball in the net. So let's see if we learned from that. And we can put the ball in the net this time around. That's it for today. We've covered quite a bit. Again, if you're watching live or you're listening after the fact or watching after the fact, if you could be so kind and drop us a like, a follow, share, subscribe, on all the various platforms. Again, it doesn't cost you any money. It helps us reach a few more people, which is always appreciated. Thank you for listening, watching, commenting, taking part in it. If you have any questions, feel free to leave questions, comments for us. We read them all and get back to you. And we appreciate the interaction with us. Bill, as always, a pleasure. First live one of the new year. We'll be back. What day of the week is the Real Madrid game? Is it Tuesday or Wednesday?
It's Tuesday.
Tuesday. So let's just plan for Tuesday evening podcast instead of doing it Monday before the game. We'll do it Tuesday. So we'll be back here next Tuesday evening, hopefully off the back of another historic victory against Real Madrid. I don't care if Trubin scores it. I don't care if it's an own goal. I don't care, as long as we win. That's all I care. So hopefully we'll be back here with 2 wins, 1 against Santa Clara, 1 against Real Madrid. As always, a pleasure. Have a good evening, everyone. And of course, Viva o Sport Lisboa e Benfica. Good night.